Welcome back to some new r/malicious compliance stories, where people comply to the letter, but not the spirit of a request. I hope you had a great day. Thanks for all the likes and comments on the last video. And now let's start with the first story. It's called Perfectly Logged. A few months ago, my manager became obsessed with tracking our productivity, down to the decimal point. Every task had to be logged, measured and analyzed. No exceptions. If it wasn't on the spreadsheet, it didn't count. One day, during our weekly team meeting, he casually said, "I don't care how long it takes, just make sure everything is logged perfectly." Cue some well-executed compliance. I started logging everything. Reading the boss's email, 3 minutes 42 seconds. Deciphering vague instructions, 5 minutes. Refilling water bottle to stay refreshed, 2 minutes 10 seconds. Wondering if this is real life or a sitcom, 7 minutes. Trying to make sense of corporate jargon, 4 minutes 30 seconds. Strategic sighing to stay calm, 9 seconds. Before long, my task tracker looked like a surreal diary of office life. I even color-coded it for extra precision. When my manager finally looked at my logs, he was not amused. "Why are you spending time tracking all of this?" I simply reminded him, "You said everything needed to be logged." By the end of the week, a new policy was introduced. Log only what's necessary. Mission accomplished. The next story is called Wasting Time. I worked for a small but highly respected academic publisher in the UK. I was part of the sales team, traveling across the country, visiting universities and bookshops to promote our titles. It was a great job, before the days of car phones, let alone mobile phones. Once we were on the road, we were pretty much our own bosses. Our sales manager had done the same job, understood how things worked, and trusted us to manage our own schedules, as long as our territories remained profitable. And they were. Then everything changed. We were taken over by a much larger publisher. Suddenly, instead of knowing almost everyone in the company, we were dealing with faceless voices on the other end of a phone line. The new company ran like a well-oiled machine, but one that didn't allow for much flexibility. For example, as sales reps, we had company cars. Previously, we had a set budget and could choose any car within that range. Not anymore. Now we had exactly 3 options, and that was that. Then came the biggest shift. Management decided that employees across the company weren't using their time efficiently, especially in meetings. So they brought in highly paid consultants. And one of their grand solutions was that every single employee had to take a time management course. Coincidentally, the same consultancy provided the course. Eventually, our sales team got the memo. We had to go through the training, despite pointing out some pretty obvious facts. We weren't office-based, so we rarely had meetings. If we did have meetings, they were run by someone else. We couldn't exactly ask a university professor or bookstore owner to wrap things up quickly for the sake of time management. For us, efficiency meant avoiding traffic jams to get to our next appointment. Until teleportation becomes a reality, no course was going to fix that. But none of that mattered. The decision had been made, and we had to go along with it. Somehow, this course lasted 3 full days. To this day, I have no idea how, as most of it consisted of stating the obvious. And because it ran from 9 to 5, we also had travel days on either end. That meant the 4 of us spent almost a week in a 4-star hotel, with unlimited food and drinks, gaining nothing but weight from the experience. I can only imagine how much this cost the company. Even back then, it must have been well into the thousands. On top of that, for an entire week, our sales team didn't sell a single book. We were supposed to write follow-up reports, detailing what we had learned from the course. But after discussing it with our sales manager, that requirement was quietly dropped, probably for the best. The last story is called Return Policy. This happened a few years ago, when I was working for a local flooring retailer. It was a great job. and most of the customers were really nice. Until one day, a man, let's call him Jonasy, came in to buy some tile. He purchased about 6 different colors for various areas of his house. I explained to him at the time that if he had any full boxes left over when he finished, we'd be happy to take them back and give him a refund. He agreed and went on his way. A couple of days later, Jonasy comes back, ready to return some tile. No problem, until I see that he hasn't brought back a single full box. Instead, he's got just a few loose tiles from each color he purchased. I explained that we can't process returns for individual tiles, because there's no easy way to resell them. That's when he immediately gets upset, raises his voice, and accuses me of lying and misrepresenting our return policy. After a couple of minutes, I realized this just wasn't worth the argument. So to keep things moving, I found an item in our system that roughly matched the cost of his tiles and gave him a refund. As he walked out, I politely said, "Have a nice day," to which he responded with some not so polite words. Now here's where the malicious compliance comes in. I knew that the tiles he returned were the last of those colors, and we weren't getting any more in. So I called one of the loaders and had him immediately take the tiles out to the dumpster and break them up, just in case Jonasy ended up needing more. A couple of days passed and nothing happened. I was a little disappointed, because I thought my plan was brilliant. Then, about 4 days later, Jonasy comes rushing back into the store, looking very concerned. He needed more tiles. I calmly explained that since there were only a few left, we couldn't resell them, so they had been disposed of. But if he wanted, he was welcome to check the dumpster to see if anything was still usable. He looked incredibly frustrated, but had no choice. So I walked him outside, and he started sifting through what was left. Just broken pieces. It was perfect. Thanks for watching the video to the end. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe. And if you have time, watch another one of my videos. Also, if you want to support me further, check out the channel membership or Patreon. And now, I hope you have a great day. See you soon. Bye bye.